One of the amazing picture images of God that Jesus gives us is that of a loving Father. He breathed his life into the earth and nurtured and tended it day after day, century after century, down through the millennia until today. As human fathers, we care for and love our children even when they say to us, "Daddy, I hate you," as my younger son did to me one day as I returned home from work. Obviously, I had done something wrong, and now it was payback time. The nature of the one true loving God that Jesus showed to his disciples, his followers, was a far cry from the gods of the age. Offerings and sacrifices had to be made at the appropriate temples, or else some evil calamity would befall you. The gods had to be kept happy, or else you would be in trouble. Rules must be obeyed. Of course, the temple priests and the artisans who made figures and images of the gods had to be paid in either food or money. When the Apostle Paul reached Athens, the worship centre for the Greek gods, he even found an altar inscribed to an unknown God. Paul told them that he knew their unknown God, and he told them all about Jesus, God's Son. A number of people became believers, including a man called Dionysius and a woman called Damaris. Later on, when Paul was in Ephesus, the silversmiths who made shrines to the local god Artemis instigated a riot, and Paul and his companions had to leave town. The people were in bondage or slavery to the gods and their religious officials. Slavery was an everyday experience in those times. Wealthy people had slaves. Poor people risked becoming slaves if they couldn't make the necessary payments. They could be sold into slavery or even put into jail. Just like today, everyone was trying to get higher up the ladder to reach a greater security. But Jesus came and taught his followers to address God as Abba, the Aramaic informal word for father, like our daddy. This is not some austere Victorian father declaring that children should be seen and not heard. If they made too much noise, then they would be sent out of the room. This is a loving father who longs to spend time with his children, caring for them, loving them, even having fun with them. The people didn't have to pay to be with God. They didn't have to make sacrifices at the temple to please God or to pay penalties for their misdeeds. God longed for them to come and say sorry, to turn their lives around and to live in his ways as Jesus showed them. In our world today, people try to make us slaves to money, slaves to fashion, slaves to the whims of society, art and culture. Traders squabble for our custom, offering us special deals that are too good to be true, putting up the prices when we turn our backs for a moment. Jesus says, "Slow down, you move too fast." Jesus says, "Peace I leave with you, peace that the world cannot give." Jesus says, "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Jesus swept away the religious rules by which the priests and temple authorities kept the people in religious slavery and bondage. Only 2 rules are necessary. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, and mind, and love your neighbour like you love yourself. See, all you need is love.